Hello, my fellow Americans, fellow preppers, YouTube. 'Tis I, the Rumpled One. The biggest threat that we are facing, there's going to be a lot of debate on this. Fiscal cliff, Al-Qaeda, terrorism. What's going to push us into that SHTF, the big one? The Mayan calendar coming to an end. Obama trying to become a dictator. What's going to push us over the edge? What is it that we have to look out for? Well, it was interesting. I got an advertisement in an email the other day. And I remember reading something similar to this probably back in the 80s. And in fact, there's a YouTube video that talks about it, but not in the same context. Basically, it's overpopulation, or population density to be a little more specific. You see, it's like when you put too many rats in a box. You get to a certain number, they're just going to start fighting and tearing each other apart. Because you see, this population density increases as population density increases, then the demand for resources increases. And if there's a limited number of resources, well, then the fight is on. I mean, we're coming up to Turkey Day, and we all know what happens the day after, Black Friday. Madness! People trampling each other to get a good deal on a color TV. I mean, it's ludicrous. People have died. Fatal injuries from the stampede because there's a limited number of color TVs. Think about what would happen if that was food. So, the whole idea is that no matter what event triggers the SHTF, the thing that you have to worry about are other people. Once again, it gets back to the three types of people. Most of them are sheep. Then you got your shepherds who want to herd them up and take care of them. And then you got the wolves who are going to go out there and, basically attack their fellow man to get what they want or need. And so this article that I read talked about strategic relocation. It says that most people just can't go out and get a place in the country. They can't afford it. They're tied down. Many reasons they can't do it. But you see, life is choices. I've spoken to that many times before. And you have to decide what's important to you. And so if you live in a densely populated area, everybody you see is a competition for a resource. There's only so many hospital beds. There's only so much food on the shelves in the grocery store. Only so many drugs in the drugstore. So many doctors, only so many nurses. It's going to be competition for resources. And somebody else is going to determine your place in line. It's a triage. Is it immediate? Is this delayed? Is this minor? Or is this person, we're going to write them off as dead? You want somebody else deciding your fate like that? I don't think so. I know I don't. So when you're thinking about bugging out, you have to think in terms of strategic relocation. Preferably in an area where there's not going to be a demand for the resources or competition from resources from a lot of other people. You need to go out, find some place where you can almost be by yourself. Now the only question is how long you're going to have to be there. just a week or two, months, years, forever. I'm not trying to put a panic on anybody. Don't want you to panic. I want you to think about it. I want you to ponder it. I want you to make plans and preparations so you can take care of yourself and your family. I mean, remember, I used to have a couple of trailers. Those were called mobile command centers, where if you had to, you hook one up and you just drive away. Drive out in the woods somewhere in the middle of the desert. You can hang out there for a while. You're self-contained. But you have to decide what's best for you. So remember, no matter what the event, the biggest thing you have to concern yourself with is all the other people around you. Because there's going to be competition for resources. And the problem is that if you're well enough prepared and a lot of these other people aren't, and they see you're prepared, you're going to become a target. It only takes one to make your life miserable or to end your life. So you might want to consider where you're going to relocate to. Strategic relocation. Don't expect the government to help you. Don't rely on your neighbor. Rely on yourself. Be prepared. You don't have to get all crazy about it. You really don't. And you don't have to run out and buy a bunch of stuff. You really don't. You probably have what you need in your house, in your apartment. Just need to assemble it. Have it ready so you can grab and go. Doesn't take much. But the important thing is next time you're out in public, just remember, each person is a competition for resource. The more people you see, the more competition there is. Something to ponder. I hope I've made you aware. I hope you take it to heart. You don't have to believe me if you don't want to. And if you have a difference of opinion, I'd love to hear it. That's how I learn. Because if somebody is agreeing with what I say, I'm not going to learn. But if somebody disagrees and puts up a good case, I might learn something. I'm open. But competition for resources, that is going to be the biggest concern when stuff hits the fan. Think about it. Because remember, if you fail to prepare today, you might not be able to prepare tomorrow.